Every journey begins with a single step. And for me, that journey was not on a track or in a park. It was a quiet, hesitant moment when I decided to move beyond the limits of what I'd always believed defined me. I wasn't a runner, and I've never been athletic. In fact, the very word conjured up images of pain, exhaustion, lungs burning and gasping for air that suddenly held the consistency of treacle. And don't get me wrong, through school I'd been incredibly average at football and field hockey, which I'd briefly flirted again with as an adult, and had even been part of a roller derby team for around 6 years. But there were parts of my social life, rather than a physical and mental battle of will and motivation to see what I was capable of. But there was something inside me, a quiet voice that wondered if perhaps with the right mindset and encouragement, I could surprise myself. It was early 2025 and my colleague and now good friend Morag had been using a popular running app to help her back into running. I'd already run Couch to 5k starting back on the 1st of January 2020, and then conveniently a global lockdown came around, so I stuck with that until the shin splints were hounding me every session finally made me cave in. And I gave up on reaching my next goal of 10k. But I'd always wanted to become someone who could walk up a hill or even a set of stairs without getting out of breath. So I asked Morag about the app and she referred me, and I got 2 weeks premium for free, and I was away. My first run felt incredibly hard. Every stride was a battle. I'd finally bought shoes appropriate to the terrain I was expecting to run on, which at this stage was mostly forestry trails, and I'd just started to romanticise being out in a place where I could run surrounded by trees rather than people. So I woke up this afternoon, and yes, it was this afternoon because I'm lazy, and decided that later on tonight or later this evening I'm going to start running up in a local woodlands walk nearby. So at the moment I'm just making myself nice healthy food. I've got mushroom, miso, chili soup, and a couple of protein bagels there as well. And crucially, it's not pure water, but it's a cordial with sparkling water in. And I did a little search online just to see if the carbonation affected hydration, but it doesn't. So if you're struggling to get your fluids in because you hate water, and I don't hate water, I just don't want it all the time, sparkling water is a great move. So yeah, let's eat this and then prep dinner for after the run, and then I'll check in with you when I get to the location in which I'm going to run. Well, I'm out. I actually went swimming instead yesterday, so just doing my warm-up, walking, and getting ready to start running. So I'm like 3 kilometers into my return to running. Week 1, run 1, 5 minutes warm-up, followed by 2 minutes run at a conversational pace, 2 minutes walking. I think I'm running a bit quick though because I'm struggling to talk while walking, but yeah, it's a couple of rounds left. 3k in, so I've not done bad anyway, but let's keep it up. Lovely day out here. Okay, just on my 5-minute cool down walk. I feel good, and got some light trail shoes. Hopefully you saw those. Just cheapy. I think they cost me £39.99. I've not got a sponsor yet, so I'll drop the website if you are interested. But nice light trail shoes. I could have done with tying them up a little bit more, to be honest with you, even though my feet will be swollen now from the running and that. But there's a little bit of niggle pain there. Sorry, I'm surrounded by flies because it's Scottish summer and it's humid, so just glad I'm not getting bit by midgies yet, just flags. I've done about just short of 4k. Like I said, I'm just cooling down now. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is that I work at sea most of the year,
and oftentimes there's no gym on board, and you don't have the space to work out in a cabin or anywhere really. So that is the case with the job I'm going on next week. There's no workout space, there's no gym. So I think what I'm going to try and do is just like jog on the spot, do something to just try and keep up the cardio, because now I've started, I know I'm going to want to continue that for as long as I can, but working at sea makes it really difficult. So let's see what happens. I'm going to do one more run this week. That will be Saturday. I'm going swimming tomorrow, and then I might be flying away, so we'll see what the crack is anyway. So far so good though.
Then the end of June came and I was working offshore again, and whilst there was a treadmill on board, we were working in the Bay of Biscay during a heatwave, reaching temperatures of 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. The AC was broken, nobody would fix it. Oh, and I couldn't run on the treadmill because I would bang my head. We spent a lot of time in Porto due to the open Atlantic coast bringing in some epic waves and swell, but the heat was just too much for me to run on shore either, and I had left my sports clothes and shoes at home. Plus, I'd literally just started out and I didn't want anybody to perceive me fighting for my life on a run walk, and I especially didn't want to run next to roads. In retrospect, I could have run next to the river in the evenings, but I was also working with people my age, so my priorities were still socialising and drinking over exercising at that point. Plus, everyone who I saw in Bayonne looked athletic. I was quite the opposite.
Hello, so it's been a while. I'm actually working at sea just now. Sea's outside, I'm on a boat. There you go. This is what I've got. It's a very rolly boat, so I'll do my best, but I can't run on here because I'll hit my head because the ceiling's so low. But my aim is to do at least 10,000 steps a day, so we'll see how long that lasts anyway. Hey, so it's just a quick check-in, really. Sorry about the noise too, the boat is super noisy, but I've not really been able to do steps or anything just from the roll on the boat. It's barely any swell and it's swinging all over the place, so it's just not safe to do. I just tried to do a bodyweight workout in my cabin, also didn't go well. I've only been here for a week and a half, but I'm really missing the running already, so that's good because it means when I get home I might actually carry on doing it. But yeah, I'm just uploading a load of GPX files to my watch, so when I get home and I'm a bit more competent, I can go a little bit further afield and do some longer runs, so that'll be exciting. Hopefully bring a couple of my pals along as well, one of whom has sort of made me promise that I'll do the what's the name of it, Passigada in North Wales next year, which is 17 kilometres of serious trail, fell running actually, not even trail running, so I do need to do some practicing, but yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm eating well, I've not had any chocolate or anything like that. I've been eating the food on the boat, which is, you get what you're given. I'm eating fruit, I'm eating protein bars, I'm eating nuts, drinking a lot of water, so hopefully even without all the physical activity, it will make a little bit of a difference when I get home. Wish me luck. So we've had quite a lot of downtime on this job, and what I've been doing in that downtime is sort of planning ahead for challenges that I'm going to do. So because I wasn't aware that we would have so much, well, haven't had a lot of port time, but I didn't know that we would even have any port time, and also there is no gym on board, like I've mentioned, I think. So I didn't bring my running gear or anything like that. I tried to work out in my cabin the other day, but this vessel rolls like you wouldn't believe. And what I've done instead is sort of go through, make a lot of trails to run when I get home, and also pick out a few races that I might do. And I've kind of roped in my friend Morag into this, who wanted us to do the Rasagada in North Wales, in Dolgellau. I think I've just pronounced that wrong. But yeah, it's good for me, like when I'm sitting here without a lot to do, to start planning, to start organising my time in my life. And you know, I've just sort of gone through week on week to the end of the year, and there's already things I've got planned, but a lot of that's going to be taken up with work, just for the nature of what I need to be doing right now. And it just shows like it's so much time, but it's so quick, like it's rapid, it goes. So yeah, it just really helps me just to have a visual way to organise time and life and have goals to plan towards. And it makes me really excited, and as much as I'm enjoying this wonderful sunshine, I'm really looking forward to getting home and going back running on the trails again. I am going to get some compression sleeves for my calves and maybe get a sports massage as well, because my shin splints are not great. But I've done a lot of walking here while I've been in port. I think I've done nearly 20k in 2 days, which doesn't sound like a lot, but my hip gets really sore, the hip flexor. I spend a lot of time sitting down for work. So yeah, little things I can do while I'm stuck in a box on a boat. Yeah, it's exciting. Well, that's me off my first freelance contract, offshore. Just woke up in the hotel, and I'll follow with a bunch of screens about what I managed to do. We had a bit of port time, so I tried to get out as much as possible. The treadmill really wasn't working out, so I didn't do as much as I wanted to. As I said earlier, the boat was super rolly, so I just tried to do what I can when we're in port. So here's what I got up to.
I tried again when I got home in August, back in the forestry trails here at home on the west coast of Scotland. I had a new motivator: outrun the midges. Every time I stopped to make a video, midgies and other flying insects swarmed me. I ran a bit more than prescribed by the app because of this, and I made it out alive. If you're unaware of what a midgie is, it's a tiny fly with a painfully itchy bite, and they love the taste of me.
So I'm just back from week 1, run 2 of my return to running plan. I just got back from working away for 45 days yesterday night, and I've been really looking forward to going running again. So I was at sea, and I wasn't expecting to be in port as often as we were, so I didn't take any sports gear. But I did get out for a lot of walking while I was away. We even did a 32-kilometer cycle, which was awesome, and yeah, so it wasn't all bad. I still tried to keep moving anyway. The ship was just far too unstable to do anything on board, and there wasn't a gym, like I said. But yeah, run 2, week 1. kilometers 1 to 3, nightmare, thought I was gonna die, but after that, and it's even reflected in my data, which I'll put on the screen as well. You can see the recovery heart rate between the running sections got better and better, and I could feel it on the run. And this has always been true, like, for me, is that like the first couple of kilometers, 3 kilometers are a nightmare, and then after that I'm just like, wee. So yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna go home, get a shower, get something to eat, get something for my headache. I've got some effervescent magnesium in water here, so I'm just gonna get that, and then a bit of swimming tomorrow. So I've got some drills to do, lots of breathing orientated stuff, and then maybe some technique, so see how that goes. The next week, I went down to see my sister and family in the northwest of England. I was determined to get out for a run amongst the chaos, and I did. We went somewhere we used to go for walks as kids, and I went for another run walk. This time I had a 5-minute walk and warm-up and 5 sets of 4 minutes running at a conversational pace, with a 1-minute walking recovery. Finished with a 5-minute cool-down walk, but I did end up recording the walk all the way back to the picnic site that I'd abandoned my sister to. And I remember the heat. It was such a hot day. The sun was blazing and my heart rate was 180 BPM average and the max was 207. But the route I took deviated away from the trail style terrain and onto rocky fell running style terrain. Turns out I didn't pick my feet up high enough. Twice I fell over. Is that why they call it fell running? I'm visiting my sister and her niece and nephew and that. I still came out for a run. The problem is that I drank a few ciders yesterday and I'm not very hydrated, so I'm dying. I've done the run, but I need to redo that session because it's awful. Good luck. Pretty nice. Not
halfway through lap.
That was my hardest run to date this time around, and it was only week 2, run 1 of this training plan. But I enjoyed it. I felt accomplished. I pushed through a really uncomfortable session, nearly knocked my teeth out, and I still did the hard thing. The tinder had finally caught. August is such a busy social month for me. I had a festival to attend at the other end of the country, friends to see on the way back, and then a pride to perform at, and I didn't run again until the 4th of September. But then, something kind of crazy happened. I stuck at it. I was offshore again, but I was on a vessel with space for a gym and a treadmill with a much greater head clearance. But the body resisted. Suddenly being able to run 3 times a week was great mentally, but as a beginner runner with the body like a Michelin man and a flump procreated, I could really have benefited from a stable surface. The vessel constantly shifts with the sea. My ankle and Achilles tendons were sore during and after every run by the end of week 4 of this plan. So, like any usual person would do, I resorted to Google and YouTube. Turns out that I was weak. Quelle surprise. I began to include gentle calf raises and tibialis raises in warm-ups, cool-downs and before bed. Never to overload, but to encourage movement, release and build some strength to support my attempt to keep going. I briefly flirted with being at home for a few weeks in October, and I remember the run walk down the beach to the north of the town that I live in. The undulating coastal road becoming a mountain range of effort for my unfit body. I did it though, and my legs were better than they had been, but still aching. I did my final run before heading off to Orkney for a last minute sea search expedition dive trip in the forestry trails, and according to my notes in the Garmin app, I was feeling good. I was back home on the 19th and flying to Gothenburg on the morning of the 21st. They'd called me and asked me for the day before, but I needed a minute to breathe. Offshore contract work can be less last minute, but I hadn't ever been to Sweden, and strangely I would be doing my job from a remote office on night shift listening out for marine mammals during a geophysical seabed survey in Portugal. My job can be pretty cool, but the point is that I was on night shift coming into winter in Sweden. Yeah, it was South Sweden, but let me tell you, that snow and ice was no joke by the end of November. September at sea had been my most consistent month so far for running. October had 3 runs. I can't really run after diving, especially with the amount of dives we were going on for sea search. And then November ended up with 5 runs overall. Not great, but my head was in the bin. I didn't see the sun in 5 weeks. My life was isolated and consisted of nighttime only, so I kinda drew a line under it and pledged I would do better when I got home at the end of the month. December arrived, and whoa, what a busy month. It was the 16th of December before I found time for a run, and it was my 5-kilometre race day. I got Morag to come with me. Did I really think that I could run for 5 kilometres straight? My running journey was so riddled with holes and gaps so wide I don't think a beginner would be able to straddle them. But I did it. If there's one thing about me, I hate being seen to fail, to give in. Having Morag, who is miles fitter and a much better runner than me, hauling ass up the woodlands, would serve as the proverbial fire in my pants at this stage. Morag and I ran a trail route near our town. It was 0 degrees Celsius, raining heavily and pitch black. Head torches on, I followed Morag over a total ascent of 149 metres and ran the whole way. 37 minutes and 15 seconds. My heart felt like it was going to forcibly eject from my chest, but I did it. Max rate of 209 BPM. 79% of that run was in zone 5. Exhausting, but I was pleasantly surprised at what I'd achieved. That was it. I was going to carry on. There were no excuses now. I needed a new goal and I immediately set my sights on parkrun. Now, if you know about parkrun, you'll know it's a public 5k that anyone can sign up for once and attend each Saturday morning at any event they so choose. But me, I couldn't have faced having to walk any of it in front of people. Have you ever had that feeling that all eyes are on you, even when surrounded by other people, other runners, knowing in my logical mind that nobody could pick me out of a crowd? The voice in the back of my head tells me that they can, and they are watching me. Perish the thought. Luckily, I was heading back down to my sister's and I'd scoped out a parkrun kind of near where she lives. It wasn't flat, it was a total ascent of 80 metres, but it was mostly tarmac. A far cry from the forestry trails that I'd been prancing around on prior. I'd bought a pair of Clifton 10s and this would be their debut. I was going to run outside in front of a few hundred people for the Christmas parkrun as my first time. I am so grateful it wasn't my local. I didn't run the whole way. My first kilometre was in 6 minutes 34. The second in 6 minutes 13, and I got bowled in the third at 5 minutes and 57. Then I was gassed. I remember coming around to the uphill section and developing a stitch. I couldn't breathe. I started to walk. I needed to catch my breath and reset. I somehow managed to start running again in the final kilometre, but it was through a woodland mud track and I somehow managed to achieve it in 6 minutes 30. New PB of 32 minutes, 3 seconds. That was the scariest run to date. I handed in the barcode for my time, immediately got in my car and went back to my sister's for food and a shower. 2 days later, I was back in that park running with my niece hanging onto my hand for the first 400 metres. I was running in actual public. So basically, that was a really long-winded way of saying that I managed to do a 5k and I managed to run in public, and it only took 6 months, ups and downs, but make sure you come back next week for the second and final instalment of this series. It's a bit more exciting, there's a bit more payoff at the end too. And if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really means a lot. Thanks so much.